This is Feed Your Mind. And so Elon Musk has pretty much bought Twitter. I mean, he owns the majority share. They're saying he owns way more shares than even the founder of Twitter at this point. So it looks like there's big things on the way for Twitter. And when I first heard the news, I was upset because I was like, why would you buy Twitter? You just made this statement about like freedom of speech, and it sounded like you were saying like we need a platform, our own platform where we can speak the truth. And Elon Musk, out of all people, is behind this. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about Elon Musk. I know there's a lot of people that are not his fans, especially with his SpaceX stuff and all that. But you got to give credit where credit's due. If this guy is trying to have something to do with freeing up speech, I mean, at that point, I would say that, okay, well, if you do that, well, that's a good thing. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, because platforms like this, I mean, they are definitely not like the best platform when it comes to freedom of speech. It's like they almost go against the values of American values, where we have a protected right to speak out. And it's like if we're not breaking laws, if we're not causing harm, then there's no need for them to really go overboard. Like they should only really be silencing people that are just going all out. People should be able to have an opinion on anything. It should be protected speech, even on a privately owned platform, because they try to use that excuse. And from what I've heard, the authorities have been working with a lot of these platforms to enforce, to make them not allow us to speak about things. Like they had a committee meeting about flat Earth and all types of other conspiracies. They had like a hearing in DC, an official hearing. So it's like they're putting pressure on YouTube and everybody to silence our discussions. And it's like, so they're using private companies to get their anti freedom desires out. It's like these anti-American values. They're crushing freedom of speech. They're doing all these mandatory things. They're using private entities to accomplish their goals. And it's like completely anti-American values, a lot of these things. And the general public is just going along with it. It's like they don't get it. The general public is the reason why, they get away with so much. It's because so many people are so passive and not paying attention and easily fooled, and they go along with things, and that's why they've been able to get away with so much. So with freedom of speech, it should be a protected thing. I mean, what they're so worried about is that January 6th incident. They don't want things like that happen. There's like flash mobs and stuff. That the power of social media is very strong. Like it's a new thing to them, and they're afraid of it because people are collecting thoughts and minds. And I think like, hey, if there's nothing for people to really be upset about, or if they're not upset about anything, if people are playing fair, if everybody's playing fair, I don't think there's gonna be much to worry about, really. Like if people get upset about stuff and they organize using the power of social media, it's like, well, maybe that's some things that need to be addressed in society instead of running from the problem and trying to stop people from being able to communicate. Maybe that just points out that there's something wrong with there's something that needs to be addressed. So I kind of, you can kind of see where they're coming from if you look at it from that lens, but where they're kind of they're so afraid of people coming together and having that tool to be able to organize and meet up and whatever could come from that. So they don't want that to happen. They don't want that ability. So they really try to. It looks like now they kind of choose who they let go viral. Like at first, YouTube worked real good, where like it was like the videos found viewers. If you put out a good video, it would find its viewers. I had to I had to change my whole format because of what happened with YouTube. Like, I was making documentary style videos. Now I'm doing these podcast style videos just so that I can continue. Cause I'm at the point now where it got to where I was either going to just have to give up YouTube or like I said, I found another way, which is these podcast style videos, which allows me to continue because, I'm working full time, and if I come home and spend all night on a video for weeks sometimes, and I put it out and it barely does 10,000 views, it's like putting in that much work for just so that they can quiet the views. And then a lot of the times, sometimes the views wouldn't even get to 10,000. It's like, okay, so I'm used to getting like 100,000 views. Then they cut that down. I was doing millions at first. They cut that down to hundreds of thousands. Then they cut it down to like 50,000. Then they cut it down to like 20. Then they cut it down to under 10. It was just like, they was really after this type of information. So that's why I'm doing these podcast style videos for now. If I get more listener support, I could maybe get to where I can spend the time again to put out these documentary style videos again. And I do plan on still putting out these documentary style videos sometimes on my Feature Mind 2 channel and my Patreon channel when I can get to them. So, but for the most part, I'm going to have to go this podcast style route for a while until I can figure things out on my end to where I can have the time to, put that much effort into something that they're going to just blacklist and shadow ban, But anyways, if this Elon Musk thing with him owning Twitter, owning the majority shares in Twitter is like, obviously, like I said, at first I was upset, but now I think it's pretty clear that he has a plan. And not only that, but his stock went up. So it made him money just by investing in it. But he invested in something that he hates. And it's like, okay, I understand now that they have an established users. They have all users. Just like I remember somebody bought MySpace out before. I think that's what happened. And, they kind of shut it down after that. I don't know if that's exactly how it worked, but I just know it was, I don't know what his plans are with Twitter. Is he going to shut it down and start his own thing, or is he going to just take over it and loosen all the shadow bans, remove those and remove a lot of the things that they were trying to do to quiet the audience and to have authority over everybody's words. And maybe he's going to improve it, or maybe he's probably going to have like influence now with that majority share. And he can, as a majority owner, he's going to have a say in how things operate over there. And some people are already saying they're going to quit. It's like, so, they don't want to work under Musk, so they're saying they're out of here. And so we'll see how this goes with Musk taking over Twitter. Like, is he going to actually allow, and how long is it going to take for him to actually get this done? Like, I do kind of see his vision though. Like, it makes sense. Like I said, you got an established user base already in the millions. So instead of starting from scratch, that would probably be, a better way to go about it. I would guess maybe. And it's like Elon Musk, they say he doesn't really invent things anyways. I think he invented PayPal, but he didn't invent Tesla from what I'm hearing. It's like he bought the company and turned it into what it is today. And I have nothing against that. That's actually a good business move. You don't always have to start being an inventor and start things from scratch. It's like people talk down on that type of stuff. And it's like, I think those people just don't understand business sometimes, because I research business and I understand that concept of you can buy out a business, that's already established. And, that once you're the owner, you can make adjustments to the business and make it work the way you want it to work, because you're in charge now of the business. So you don't always have to start things from scratch. You don't always got to invent things. You can be on top of things and buy inventions, and buy things already established, take over things. That's actually a good business model. That's actually to me, that's a respected business model, especially if you have a new vision and you transform a business into something better, and you make the customers happier because the old owner didn't, wasn't doing the right thing. I saw one guy down the street from my place. There was a gas station that nobody was buying anything out of it. It was just like the snacks looked like all the snacks had dust on it, and nothing was really moving out of there. They got a new ownership. They transformed the whole place. They and then they kept making improvements after that, and it's like a real gas station now with people buying things, and they have a restaurant in there now too. They have like, it's well kept, fresh product all the time. So they really turned something that was nothing into something. So yeah, I'm okay with that concept. I don't know what you guys think about Elon Musk. I don't really care like what because like what he's doing with this whole thing with the with buying Twitter. Like if he transforms that, okay, well he can get credit for that. I don't have nothing against him for doing that. Like that doesn't mean he's my favorite person or anything. It's just like, okay, in that specific area, he did it. He did what he had to do, and it benefited mankind. So I can't do nothing but respect that part of what he did. So as long as that's what he does, we'll see how long this takes. I'm pretty sure he has a plan though. He didn't just spend all this money just to not have a plan. You would think he would want this thing to be in action pretty quick. These new he's been putting out like polls and stuff, seeing what people want. They want to have an edit button on Twitter. They want to have, remove all the shadow bans, stop banning people over any little thing. Let people say what they got to say. Let it have public discourse. That's a very important aspect of civilization. Discourse. All the scary people in charge, all the authority, they're afraid because they have so much stuff they don't want people to figure out. They're like the gatekeepers. They don't want people to figure out stuff because they're holding back society. And I think we all should start reporting them, continue to report them to the Most High, what they're doing to humanity. It's like there should be karmatic consequences for what they're doing, for holding back civilization and really affecting people just by because they're withholding knowledge and wisdom, and people are, civilization isn't growing at the rate it could be growing, at the level they should be at right now. Everybody, even the general public, should be at a certain level right now, just due to the awakening and the access to information. The Book of Revelations even said, in the end times, knowledge will be increased and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's time for new platforms. I'm hoping this Truth Social thing is a good platform. I'm not on it or nothing yet, but I'm hoping I support that stuff. I want to see more platforms come out with the specific goal of being a more free platform than the restrictive ones. And then eventually maybe people can find platforms where they can start leaving, have a great alternative, so people can start leaving the platforms that are overly restrictive, and those platforms end up begging us to come back, or they might just fall under their own stubbornness for resisting the right for humanity to have discussion and dialogue and discourse, which is it's pretty much one of the most important things humanity can do right now to achieve the things that we really are able to achieve, to be able to accomplish what we are able to accomplish. And they hold us back by not allowing us to have discourse and figure out stuff and be the detectives that we are, and be the internet hive mind that we are, where we share ideas and thoughts, and that really, really pushes us forward as a population of this earth. So I'll leave more information if you want to check out this whole Elon Musk thing. I'll also leave a link if you'd like to support this channel. I'm accepting $1 donations. It helps keep this channel online, because they try to silence a lot of my videos and stuff, but with listener support we can keep going. I'm also going to leave a link to my email list. Sign up to my free email list so you can be up to date on everything I'm putting out across all my channels. I'll leave a link to my other channels. I'm gonna be over at FYM too, dropping stuff. I'll leave a link to my social media plus much more. So thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been FYM signing off.